I'm your host, Adrian Sanabria, and joining me for this interview is Thyaga Vasudevan, EVP of Product at Skyhigh Security. Welcome, Thyaga.
Thank you, and thanks for having me here.
Congratulations to Skyhigh Security for being nominated as a finalist for the, I believe it was a data security?
That's correct.
Yeah.
And thank you for that. And a privilege and an honor to be nominated as a finalist in the Data Security Awards.
So I want to pivot to talking about AI. AI security as well. Visibility is often the biggest initial challenge.
Yep.
Trying to understand what employees are using, and these new applications are popping up almost every day.
That's right.
But yeah, certainly, I think one of the biggest concerns is like with ChatGPT, you can upload a file.
Yep.
You can upload an Excel file. Say, give me insights
That's
about
right.
the data in the spreadsheet. And there's a lot of concern about not necessarily blocking everything,
Right.
but I want to know what my employees are doing.
Yeah.
Like, what are they typing into prompts? What are they trying to do with these services?
Exactly right.
And immediately thought of CASBs, of SACI, of this category, because you're already there. You're already in line for this. So, was it when ChatGPT came out in 2021? Was it kind of a no-brainer that you would be able to provide this?
Yeah, absolutely, Adrian. And again, AI security is such a important need for today's enterprise. And as you rightly said, it starts with visibility into all the different AI tools or AI applications being used within my enterprise, and what's the risk of those applications. And again, that's probably the fastest growing category of the kind of applications is AI.
Yeah.
And really, customers are looking for what is the risk of these applications. And when I say risk, it's not just about just regular service risk, which our registry, obviously, CASB registry can provide as part of Shadow IT.
Right.
But we've taken it one step further. What we now identify is also what LLMs do these applications use. And as part of these, we identify the risk of these LLMs. What I mean by that is you can identify that this LLM has a very high risk of jailbreaking or toxicity or bias or malware.
So the AI safety side of things.
Exactly. And one is the visibility, which we also always believe it's a shock and awe. But then what can you do with that? Now the customers can then use those controls, those signals, and create zero trust policies based on that. So as an example, they could create policies like if these users from this AD group are accessing these set of AI applications which have high risk of toxicity, then route them, don't block it.
Exactly. I was going to ask that.
Don't block it, but move them over to a browser isolation session so that they can touch, they can feel, but nothing gets downloaded kind of thing. That's a lot of options that they have. So that's one. But then we've also now seen.
I just want to drop in, I love the shift from, 404, you can't, or 403, not authorized.
That's right.
You can't access it.
That's right.
It's instead of a no coming from cybersecurity,
Correct.
it's a no, but.
No, but.
No, you can't use that. But we do have Claude Enterprise.
Exactly.
Here's the authorized.
That's right. So the no, but we try to do two things. One is the one that you just said, which we call coaching, which is, hey, you're not allowed to use this, but you can use a Microsoft Copilot Enterprise that we have.
We always pay for it.
We already pay for it. Or people have started to use ChatGPT Enterprise, believe it or not. And so that's also possible. But sometimes they want to allow ChatGPT to be used as an example. So the biggest concern in shadow applications is they don't want any kind of training happening on the data. So we've been able to, very uniquely identify that this application is going to be training on the data, on the files, or the prompt, and you can actually turn off the training. And there are options in ChatGPT options, so we can turn it off. So instead of the user going and turning it off, we, as in the policy, can actually, because it's inline, right? It's through proxy. But coming back to sanctioned applications, so Microsoft Copilot, one of the fastest growing applications with an enterprise, inherently comes with a lot of security challenges, because the moment you turn it on, it's going to index all your data in OneDrive, SharePoint, Exchange, Teams, and regardless of whether it's sensitive or not sensitive. The first order of business for customers is to say, hey, if it is sensitive, don't put it through this LLM at all.
Yeah.
So how do you do that? So you've got to build
Data
those
labeling, right?
There you go. So you need to be able to filter out sensitive data from that. Second part of it is how do you protect the data that's going in? So it's via DLP through upload files, or now it's through prompts.
Yeah.
So anything I'm entering, I can cut and paste a sensitive document into a prompt. I should be able to identify it's sensitive because we've done fingerprinting of the document.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I can prevent that from getting uploaded.
So even portions of the document.
Exactly, in portions of the document. The last piece of it is, which is where a lot of innovation is going on, is it's nothing malicious about the data, but the way LLMs are reacting to my prompts, it either means the LLM has been compromised. There's a prompt injection attack going on, or the data is being poisoned. So how do you identify that? And then if you identify that, then you need to be able to prevent that prompt from coming out.
Right.
So those are the areas we're investing very heavily. By the way, we also made an announcement at RSA about our AI security as well. Because again, these are all extensions of our SSE platform.
And then on the data labeling piece, are you leveraging Purview that's already there with Copilot, or do you have your own ability to?
Both.
Yeah.
So if customers have their own data classification systems, whether Microsoft, MIP, if you put your labels in MIP, or if you're using any third-party labeling system, or you can classify using our own out-of-the-box classifications. We can use whatever customers prefer. And we've now given them very automatic or ML-based ways to classify the data. You don't even need to go and build data identifiers, etc. You can just leverage a lot of auto classification techniques based on machine learning to say, oh, this kind of a document is of type PII and it's a passport document, etc. And then you can classify and use those classifications.
All right. Wonderful stuff. Thanks again. Congratulations to Skyhigh Security for being nominated as a Best Data Security Solution finalist in the 2025 SE Awards.
Thank you, Adrian. It's a pleasure to be here, and thanks once again for the awards.